Friend of a channel, Kung Fu says these Americans pay extra not to wear condoms. Man, fellas, I'm telling you, man, take it from me. I'm an African man living in the United States, been here for the last 20 years. I go to Africa at least once a year. Okay. I have a home in Ghana where I grew up. I have a home in Zambia, and I have a home in Colombia. The things you do in South America are just good for South America. The things you do in Asia are good for Asia. Africa is a whole different dimension when it comes to sexually transmitted diseases. Okay. Let me tell you the story. In the 90s, okay, in the 90s, I'm a little bit older, so forgive me, guys. But in the 90s, I used to see people drop, like literally drop dead from AIDS because at the time we didn't have ARVs. ARVs is the treatment you get when you have AIDS, or when you're first diagnosed with HIV. So most people only lived for about 6 months after their HIV diagnosis. And I saw people drop dead, bro, in the middle of nowhere. I did see it myself. Growing up, that was traumatizing. You know, where my wife's from, she tells me stories like that too, where people just dropped off, man. It's like, so Africa got the biggest HIV rates out there still to this very day. And they are notorious for not taking their medications. And another thing too is that a lot of HIV medication is donated by America. And over the years, we've seen some governments give expired drugs to people because it's so expensive and they can't provide it. So they might think they're on ARVs, but they're not on ARVs. You know what I mean? And those girls will look normal, man. They will look normal. I like if I do a live stream at a known HIV clinic in Zambia, you're gonna see these girls and they look normal, like nothing has happened to them because of the new medications that are out there. But a little slip up, you're gonna come home with HIV, especially in Africa. I don't know about all these other places, but you guys are playing. You can do that passport bro game comfortably everywhere else, but once you start playing with Southern Africa, East Africa, West, not so much on the West Coast, but hey, you're really playing with fire, man. And stuff things like gonorrhea and the little ones. Those are like sides when you order food at a restaurant. To get gonorrhea in Africa is like, hey, it's like catching the flu over here, okay? Because there's a lot of those cases over there. So I'm not saying this to scare anybody. I'm just saying it because it's my life experience. I lost a lot of family and friends and neighbors growing up when we really didn't have the medications for it. So HIV is really still there. It's one of the things that has become part of an African identity. So you have to be very careful when you go out there. I mean, think about it. The prevalence rate in America is still under 1%. 1%, okay? One. Again, the prevalence HIV rate in the United States is under 1% of all the United States population, close to 400 million people. Only 1% prevalence rate, and they are all on ARVs. Of that 1%, about 80% of that 1% is people in that LGBTQ community. They have the highest rates. So MSM is what they call it, men that have sex with men. Okay. So they have the highest HIV rates. And then you have drug users, right? The guys that use drugs. For heterosexual people, the rate is really, really low. So it's very, very difficult to catch HIV in America unless you're just playing with prostitutes. In Africa, it's a different ballgame. A lot of the countries have prevalence rates. The minimum that I've seen on record is the states that are Muslim. Those are lower than the US. So like the states like Chad. But you can't do those passport bro things over there because they're gonna cut off your head if you do. So please, if anybody is telling you to go to Chad or Sudan, um, northern Nigeria, northern Ghana. Mali, please don't even try it. Burkina Faso, no, you're gonna get your head cut off. So please don't do it over there. Or your hands cut off, or your dick cut off. I promise you that. So please don't go over there. But if you go to the English speaking countries, Southern Africa, the least that you see on record is about 11%. Some of the countries, Lesotho, Swaziland, South Africa, Mozambique, parts of Angola, Zambia, and Zimbabwe, you're looking in the 20th percentile, like literally 25 to 30% prevalence rate. So if you see 10 chicks at the bar, three of them have HIV. And these are just the numbers. These are not my numbers. You can look it up. You can chat GPT me all you want. I didn't even have to look this up because I've known this all my life. So please don't play those games over there. Please yeah, don't play those things over there. I don't even see how you see entertainment in this whole passport bro, going all these places. If you're looking for a wife, and then I've said this on record, like there are no wives in Colombia, man. Like the Colombian girls are the worst women to have a marriage with. That's why they have almost an 80% single mother rate over there. Very few people survive marriages in Colombia. I don't know why, but it just marriage is not for them. So you got to learn the countries where you think the potential wives are going to come from. I think Africa, on the other hand, you have a good chance of finding a very good wife. You really do. You really do. There's a lot of good women on the continent. It spans across all countries. And these women will really, really, really take care of you. They're genuinely going to like you and take care of you. So, and they don't care whether you're black, white, as long as you're a good person, they are very open to dating and having relationships with people, regardless of where they come from. But instead of looking and seeking those out, you guys are wasting your time in brothels. So it's like you're not gonna ever settle down. And the guys that don't settle down are always gonna live this life, even in their 40s and in their 50s and in their 60s, and what is the purpose of life as a man, man? You gotta leave a legacy. And the legacy is rooted in building families. You really have to. You really have to do that. So shake it off, man.